Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Hey, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Hey, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Hare Haraya Namah, Krishna Yadavaya Namah, Hare Hare Haraya Namah, Krishna Yadavaya Namah, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah. Give Christine a book. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah, Hare Haraya Namah, Krishna Yadavaya Namah, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan, Giridhari Gopinath Madan Mohan, Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita, Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita. That's the third line, now it's fourth. Shri Rup Shri Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath, Hey Chai Gosai Kodi Charanam Bandha, Jaha Hoite Bignanash Apishta Puran, Jaha Hoite Bignanash Apishta Puran, Hey Chai Gosai Jar Muitarda, Tansavara Pararinu Mora Panchagra, Andela charana shebe bhakta shaniba Charame janame hoye abila Ei chai gosai jabe braje koilaba Radha Krishna Nita Lila Korila Prakash Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Bolo Anande Bolo Hari Bhaj Vrindavan Bolo Anande Bolo Hari Bhaj Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Mojamiyaman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padmakoriya Hari Nam Sankirtan Kohe Narotamoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go Premanande, Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki, Shri Harinam Mantra ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Go Premanande, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Stothar Shishimad Bhacharana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Sai Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Stothar Shishimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavin Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem's Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gokopina Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Maipur Navadip Dham Ki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Samabeta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki. All glorious to the assembled devotees. All glorious to the assembled devotees. All glorious to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Haribol. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanya Manobhishtam Shohar Tamam Nena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadahmayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru, Sri Yuta Padakamalam, Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha, Sri Rupam Sagrajatam, Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam, Tam Sajivam, Sadvaitam Sadvadhutam, Parijana Sahitam, Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitanscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Namaum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Tinamine Shri Varshabhana Videvi Daitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Pravave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Sri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudhapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambode Padambu Jayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sakchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhomestvam Nirdesa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhoma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha Panchatatvadmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Matergati Matsarva Swapadambo Jao Radha Manana Mohano Divya Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadha Srimad Ratnanghara Singhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Deva Preshtali Bhi Sevya Manusmarami Srimad Rasarasarambi Vamshi Vatatastitaha Karshan Venu Swaner Gopir Gopinatha Shriyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindayai Tulsi Devyai Priyayai Keshavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Sri Nishinga Jai Nishinga Jai Jai Narasingha Prahlada Desha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa Matsamo Nasti Padma Naparadi Chakashana Parihare Pilajam Me Kimbruve Purushottama Yuvatinam Yata Yuni Yunam Chau Yavatau Yata Mano Binamate Tadvan Mano Me Ramatam Twayi Bhumaos Kalita Paranam Bhumireva Balambanam Twayi Jata Pradharanam Twameva Sharanam Prabhu Govinda Balave Radhe Prarte Twamaham Sada Twadiyam Iti Janatu Govindo Mam Twaya Saha Radhe Vrindavanadishe Karunamrita Bahani Kripaya Nijapadabja Dasyamayam Pradiyatam Hantaya Madra Bala Haridasavaryo Yadrama Krishna Chananasparasha Pramoda Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayostayo Yad Paniya Suya Vasakanna Kanna Mulai Namashreshtam Manamapi Shachi Putra Matra Sarupam Rupam Tasya Gajam Aruparim Maturim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramoho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Adadhana Stridam Danter Idam Yache Puna Puna Shiman Rupa Padam Bojao Rajoham Syam Bhave Bhave Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chatuskritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru Mami Vaishyasti Yuktvaimam Atmanam Matparayanaha Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja Ahang Twang Sarva Papebhyo Mokshaishami Masujaha Gaur Prem Anande Haribol Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Thank you, His Holiness Hanumat Prashek Swami, for coming back to ISV. Hare Krishna. And thank you to all the rest of the devotees for coming back to ISV. And Nirkula says, everyone move up by 7.2 inches. I'll move my table 7.2 inches. We missed the first part of the program because we just flew in from Los Angeles. We were there over the weekend, at least Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We left this morning from the airport. And at the Los Angeles temple, there's now a Bhakti house. And Bhakti house is jumping. It's full of young people who are chanting the holy names and learning the philosophy. And so we had a program there on Thursday night. It's very nice. It's a small house. And we had kirtan and prasadam and some Krishna Katha. And then on Friday night, we had a program at Core Power Yoga, which is a chain of yoga studios that goes across the country. But there's a very popular one there in Los Angeles, and one of the devotees there runs that Core Power Yoga and had invited us to come and speak there. And we found that the yoga students, it's a big place. There are many rooms, and it's quite opulent, where the students practice yoga at various places. We had one big room, much bigger than this, and there we just had a kirtan and talked about the holy name and about the process of bhakti. And lots of the students came for that event, but a lot of people migrated in from the hot yoga center next door. So Vikram yoga, they turn up the heat really high, and then you do yoga because it helps keep your muscles kind of limber. Either that or they want to pretend they're in Chennai or something. So they came in also, lots of people. But what I noticed was that everyone was interested in hearing about spiritual life. Very interested. No one left. Everyone stayed and asked lots of questions. And the next day, we had would that be? The next day would be Saturday. We had a Sankirtan seminar in Los Angeles at the temple. And it was fairly well attended. I think about 50 or 60 people came to the seminar, and then another 20 or 25 devotees came out for Sankirtan afterwards, many of them for the first time. And as I always say, troop movement is the hardest part of Sankirtan. It takes the most organization to get everybody in cars and move them from one place to another, especially in Los Angeles, because every intersection you come to takes 5 or 10 minutes. They only let a couple cars go through on the left turn, and it's a very crowded city. Now I remember why Nirkula and I left that place. It was people making left turns, and they'd keep going after the red, and I said, I'm leaving this place. I don't like this at all. But there it is, and it's the second largest city in America. And it's just sitting there waiting for Lord Chaitanya's mercy, Lord Nityananda's mercy to penetrate. And people really need it. We found that out. We went out and we had a strategy, which was to go to several apartment complexes. A little different. You should feel very grateful that you live in Northern California, and here's one of the reasons. In Los Angeles and Southern California, it appears to me that every single apartment complex has security. We don't have that here. It's only about 50%. Can you confirm that, Sankirtan leaders? Have you noticed that? Here, lots of places you can just walk in. There, they have screens and you have to buzz in and everything like that. But that didn't stop us. We did have insiders. There was one devotee, we went to his neighborhood and he said, "No, I know a guy here and my mom lives there." And then, so everyone just let us in. And we had to split up into various groups to go to places because we didn't want to show up with 25 people at one door. And the devotees had a really blissful experience. Some of the devotees who had never been out before thought it was just the funnest thing they ever did. And I warned them. I told them that Sankirtan is fun and easy, and it was. After we got out there, moving everyone there. Particularly, I remember some of the people that I met, and I was thinking of Lord Nityananda yesterday. And the last man of the day that I met was a very tall man with curly hair, a sort of a darkish complexion, handsome man, very tall, probably like 6'2". I couldn't see him entirely because he was standing behind the counter of a liquor store, and he was looking down, counting or writing something. And when I came in, he knew that I was there, along with a few other devotees, but he didn't want to look up. He purposely kept his eyes down, and I was noticing that. You know, when people don't want to interact, they just don't look at you. As soon as you look at somebody, then there's a conscious connection between the two of you, and then there's maybe some obligation to say something. And he knew what was coming. He's a soul. He's not stupid. Living entities are smart, actually. They get a little covered over, and therefore they get obstinate and stubborn and want to stay in a miserable situation. And from my estimation, that was a miserable situation. Just from what I've learned in a few years reading the Bhagavad Gita, it's not an auspicious situation for someone to sell cigarettes and liquor and, you know, beef jerky and things like that, which is what he's selling there. And I think he felt a little bit ashamed of that. I think he felt that. When we walked in, he saw the contrast that we were in there and that he was selling liquor and cigarettes and beef jerky. He kind of didn't want to look up. And he pretended like if he just kept looking down, we would probably go away. But that's not my nature. I don't... Not until someone tells me to go away. If they imply it by their body language, I don't necessarily take it. We kept talking to him, and another man bounded in with 3, and he was buying 3 big bottles of Colt 45. And for those of you who aren't from America or familiar with popular culture here, that's a beverage, a so-called beverage, and it's not an auspicious beverage. It's like beer, only they put lots and lots of alcohol in it, and people take it just so that they can become very intoxicated. So he had 3 of these bottles in his hand, and I was feeling sorry for him too. I was sort of blocking the way, though, because I was trying to talk to the guy behind the counter, and here was this guy with 3 bottles of liquor. But he turned out to be a very... the guy who walked up broke the dam, because I started talking to him and said, "I hope I'm not blocking your way here." And he goes, No, I want to hear this. So I kept talking to the man behind the counter, and I handed him over the counter a Perfection of Yoga, because that's all I figured. If I handed him a big book, actually I did try to hand him a big book. I tried to give him a Gita, and his hand wouldn't come out and take it. And so then I reached over with the Perfection of Yoga, Hand me a small book? I'll just demonstrate what happened. Like a Ishopanishad. Yeah. This is a trick I learned. I've taught some of you this, but I handed the book over the counter and his hand wouldn't take it, so I went like this. And for some reason, it gets him every time. 95% of the time. He wouldn't take it, and I went, and then his hand just grabbed it. And so then I figured we're getting in, gradually, slowly. It's a slow process. He wouldn't look up. It was like 3 or 4 minutes of me asking him questions. Where are you from? What do you do? And he stalled on a lot of the answers. Why do you want to know that? Why do you think that? I said, well, you look pretty tall. How tall are you? You 6'4"? No, I'm not 6'4". How many languages? 4. And then I guessed all 4 of them. So he started warming up. I said, you speak Farsi, Arabic, English, and French. And he paused and he goes, okay, yeah, that's right. So then he had the book in his hand, and so now things are starting to move, and now this other guy's there with his bottles of liquor, and he's all interested, and there's a couple other devotees watching. And so there's a whole scene in the middle of a liquor store, and I was thinking of Lord Nityananda, that God comes to the world and he doesn't accept that it's okay for us to stay here. He doesn't accept it. The soul has independent choice and can say, I want to wallow in misery, and that's his choice. But Lord Nityananda is the emblem of mercy. We were reading in the Chaitanya Bhagavat on the way down here that he's an ocean of mercy. And I was thinking about what that meant, to be an ocean of mercy. I was actually thinking about what it would feel like to approach an ocean of mercy. After approaching all kinds of other oceans that either you can't swim in, or they're polluted, or there's an undertow that will drag you out and drown you. Just figuratively speaking, all the places that I try to drink from in this world end up being disappointing, or they actually contaminate me. I mean, all the kinds of things. Even scientific studies, they say carbohydrates are good for you, and then they say no, they're going to kill you, and then they say eat protein, then they say no, don't eat protein, and they say this vitamin is good, and they say no, this vitamin damages your liver, and it goes. There's never a moment in the material world of rest. There's never a time when I feel satisfied and safe that everything's going to be okay now. And in the Bhagavatam, there's a description of this. It's like a traveler who has no resting place. A traveler who's always being moved on and never has a resting place. And coming to an ocean of mercy, coming to God's mercy, is like actually reaching home where everything's okay, and you're being taken care of, and there's no more anxiety, and there's no need to move on anymore. So in that liquor store, the man I saw was warming up. The man behind the counter was warming up because of many different influences. I mean, we had been asked to go there by Srila Prabhupada. He said, please go out and distribute books. So we said, okay, we'll take that. And it's an important point that although we may not be able to see God, if we can get an order from him through one of his servants, that is non-different from him. The order of God and God himself are of the same category. It's the internal energy. And what we can get is an order. We have arms, we have legs, we have eyes, we have senses. And the senses can interact with the material world as far as we can try. We're limited, obviously, in many ways. But we can use those same senses to grab onto the order of the Supreme. And he passes it down. There's a mission that's attached to that ocean of mercy, Lord Nityananda, which is go out and save people. Bring them the message of Krishna consciousness so they don't have to wallow in the material world. Give them that opportunity. And the great souls follow that order. And they follow the mood of Lord Nityananda. And then they pass it on to others. They give others the chance, and then they engage them in the same work, knowing that if they grab that order, that they'll also be saved. It's a lifeline to pull them out. So we went there. We basically disturbed that whole operation that day in that liquor store on a higher order. I wouldn't have gone there if it wasn't for that. I never would have gone to that part of Los Angeles. I didn't even know it existed. And I wouldn't have gone inside the store, the liquor store. I have no business in there. And except I had been asked to. I had been asked to go in. Go everywhere you can. Go to every town and village, Lord Chaitanya said. And so that order has been passed down. So we went in there on a higher authority. That's why I felt I should stand my ground when I was there. I had this sense. And this is the sense that Lord Nityananda gives us. This is his mercy, to give us this kind of sense that, no, that we know the right thing to do. And it's not to sell liquor and cigarettes and beef jerky. That's harmful for the soul. We have that knowledge. That's coming down through the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And I was feeling that when I was in the store, that I not only have the right to be here, but I have to do this. And so I kept talking to the man, and finally, Hare Krishna, Kurna, let's get him a chair, some chair. And so finally, I broke the news to him that we'd like him to give a donation. And it's not that I needed any donation from him. It wasn't I was thinking, we got to have this to cover the cost of the book. Nothing like that. I was thinking if he gives a donation, that's going to be a bomb in the middle of this karmic situation. It'll definitely do some major damage. Yastvindra gopa matavendra mohosa karma pandan rupa palabhajana matunoti karmani nirdahati kintu chapakti bhajam govindamari purusham tamaham bhajami. Lord Brahma said it, that anyone from the tiny germ in the material world up to Lord Indra, the Indra Gopa germ up to Indra, the king of heaven, all are bound down jivas, bound down by the laws of material nature that are coming from Adhoksaja, the Supreme Lord. And this, the only way to extricate oneself from this is through the process of bhakti. Krishna doesn't consider other processes to be very significant. They only deal with various aspects of entanglement in the material world. They only go so far. And one can't see God by any other process. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yash chasmi tatvataha tato mam tatvato gyatva vishite taranantaram. Krishna says, by bhakti, by this loving devotion, then you can enter into the mystery of my understanding. You can come to know me by this process. And if someone performs a little devotional service, even unknowingly, even in the most hellish situation of life, that will make an indelible mark on their cosmic record. And everyone has some cosmic record. Just think back. We don't even know what it is. Think how many lives one might have been through. When I was in Thailand once, I picked up this Buddhist book, and I was looking at it, and it was saying that if you counted all the bodies that you've had in previous lifetimes, are you with me on this? Okay. If you count all the bodies that you've had in previous lives, you're still with me, right? Are you imagining this? That you might have had many, many millions of bodies in previous lives? Just wrap your mind around that for a second before I continue. I'll give you about 10 seconds to think about it. If you pile up all those previous bodies, they will block out the sun. That's what this Buddhist sutra said. Meditate on that. You've had millions, you've had billions, you've been in the material world since time immemorial. It means bird bodies, bug bodies, elephant bodies, body of a king, body of a cobbler, everything. All these kinds of bodies. And now there's some opportunity in the human form of life. And we have a cosmic record. And who knows, sometimes people remind me things I've done in this lifetime, and I've forgotten. I forgot, oh, I did that? That was me? And what to speak of other lifetimes, things that I've done in other lifetimes. And everything I've done creates a reaction. There's a subtle reaction that turns into a gross manifestation later on. And this perpetuates the cycle of birth and death in the material world. And the Shastra says that there's so much karma, you can't possibly burn it off by any kind of process in this lifetime. In fact, even if you spent your whole life just trying to burn off your karma, there would be warehouses more waiting for you. In fact, they're stockpiled waiting. There's so much. I mean, therefore Krishna comes and says, Sarva dharman parityaja, mame kam sharanam braja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami masujaha. Just abandon ship. Get off this, karmic ship and surrender to me, because you won't be able to get out of it otherwise. Let me deal with it. Don't you try to deal with it. That's the idea with bhakti. Is don't you try to deal with this. Don't meddle in this anymore. Just surrender to me. It feels good, doesn't it? And somebody says, I'll handle all your affairs. Just surrender to me. I'll go, okay, all right. The impetus in the material world. So I can handle this. I can do this. I could be the man. But I can't. I can't do it. And when I come to that realization, I can't put it all together. I can't sneak my way out of this. I can't maneuver my way out of it. That when there's some despair, that this is daunting, it's overwhelming, this is a good sign. When I'm blissfully ignorant and I think it's okay, then I'm really in trouble. But when I actually come to the point of thinking that I can't do this, I'm lost. Kinchana gochara, then Krishna helps. And this Janmaishvarya Shuta Shribir Edamanamanat Puman Naivar Yabitatum Vai Twama Kinchana gocharam. Queen Kunti said that if you think you have something in this world that's worth having, then you're intoxicated. You get intoxicated. You are intoxicated. But when you come to the stage of thinking I don't have anything, and I'm a lost person, I'm a lost soul. I mean, think back how many lifetimes, how many different reactions, and they're all there waiting and coming out. That's the sound of one Sri Upanishad sold. Haribo! Please turn your cell phones on and take them off vibrate, because it's $5 when they go off, and it goes towards the Nityananda MSF. So the karma is destroyed by bhakti. And this liquor store and the man and the situation I'm talking about, I was thinking in a practical way. This is a very practical thing, that there's knowledge, we have some realization of it, of what it actually means to be in there, and what are the contents of the book we're handing over the counter at the liquor store, and then asking for the donation. As I was saying, was that another one? No? Oh, okay, the sound of turning it off the cell phone, that should be something. We don't need it, but when someone surrenders and hands over the donation, then that means that they made a conscious choice. They voluntarily handed over something, and that is indelibly in their record. Su alpamasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. If one makes just a little advance towards Krishna, that's some service. And that's why I asked him, that's why I was thinking. And it took a few minutes, because he was hesitating. And finally I just said, give 1 penny, just give 1 penny, just give 1 penny, just give 1 penny. And the man with all the Colt 45 was going, yeah, yeah, yeah. And the devotees were, I mean, it was the suspenseful. It was a suspenseful moment to see what was going to actually happen. And so finally he said, okay. And he opened the register and he gave $1. Haribo! No, a little more for the man. So I was thinking of Lord Nityananda on that day, because it's mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Lord Nityananda out to do this kind of work, to go everywhere. And I remember when Radha Damodar party started, Vishnu Jana Swami was going around with his bus, and there were the Sri Sri Radha Damodar were in the bus. They used to go to all kinds of places with those deities. And I remember even sometimes they take the Harinam party, they go in bars and things like that. And Vishnu Jana Maharaj used to say that, this is Lord Nityananda's work, going here, there, and bars, and there's no place that he wouldn't go, and to give an opportunity for people to take to Krishna consciousness. The whole day went like that. The devotees that were in our party, we went to a small shopping area, and you'll be happy to know that Vedavit Krishna Prabhu, his wife and son, showed up there from Laguna Beach. They drove all the way up, of course. And they and about, in our party, we had about 15 devotees. Everywhere I looked in the little mini mall, there were people inside distributing books. It was very satisfying. And somebody described it when we came home, that it was like a wave of devotees everywhere you looked, in the laundromat, in the delicatessen, in the law office. Somebody was in there distributing a book. So it invoked in the devotees this feeling of doing the highest good and working on behalf of Lord Nityananda in a very practical way. And so we've been given that opportunity to do that kind of work and experience for ourselves. We see it for ourselves, the interactions that we have with people. We see the difference between the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance, and the transcendent mode, the Shuddha Sattva, when we're in the temple and when we're chanting Hare Krishna. And this is something we can experience and realize for ourselves through the process of Sankirtan. So that's Krishna's prerogative. He comes to the world with this idea of interrupting us, interrupting our sense gratification and my idea that I'm just going to stay here no matter what, and my ignorance. And he conspires to distribute transcendental knowledge, to give us an opportunity. And especially in the Kali Yuga, when Chaitanya and Nitai come, there's a unique opportunity. Mother Sachi, who was the mother of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one day had a dream. This is after Nityananda had come to Navadvip and joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For 12 years, Lord Nityananda stayed at home. He was born in Ekachakra. His father's name was Hadai Pandit. His mother's name was Padmavati. And he was as beautiful as many, many millions of cupids. Everyone who looked upon him said, "Who is that most beautiful child?" And during his childhood at home, he did one thing, which was to play with his friends, and they would enact the Krishna Lila. And they did it so expertly that all the grown-ups in the whole town, sometimes when kids play, they play over on the side and people go, "Oh, they're playing." But when Lord Nityananda, as a child, and his friends would play, they would enact the Krishna Lila, all the people of the town would come to watch, because they did it so perfectly and expertly, without having read any books or anything like that, that everyone was enthralled, and they would watch how they would enact the pastimes of Krishna. After one great demonstration, enactment of some of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes, one of the spectators said, "How do you know all these pastimes?" And Lord Nityananda, as a boy, said, "These are all my transcendental activities." And Lord Nityananda left home when he was 12 years old, because a sannyasi came to visit the house of Hadai Pandit and Padmavati. And while he was there, the family took great care of him, gave all hospitality, and just before he left, he asked for some charity. And they said, "Of course, whatever you want, you tell us, we'll give you." And he said, "I'm going on pilgrimage, and for a little while I need your son to come with me to help. I've noticed that he's a very good lad, and he can help me on this pilgrimage. I need some assistant. I need a brahmachari assistant. And Hanai Pandit felt like as if he was struck by a thunderbolt. But hearing this news, that he was so attached to Nityananda that everywhere he went, Hanai Pandit would go with him. He was constantly thinking of him. He couldn't give up a thought of Nityananda even for a moment. He was so attached. So when the sannyasi asked, he felt he's asked for our very life. And he went and consulted with his wife, and she said that you must do whatever you have to do, because he had already given his word that I will give. So he reluctantly allowed Nityananda to go with the sannyasi, and he stood like a stone figure as Nityananda walked away with this sannyasi, not moving. And then for days afterwards, he was like a walking dead person practically. He didn't eat, he didn't speak to anyone. He was simply morose in separation from Nityananda. And finally he died out of separation from Nityananda Prabhu. Meanwhile, Nityananda went all over the holy places of India. There's a long description, and it very much parallels, it's very similar, I should say, to Lord Balaram's pilgrimage. We all know that Lord Balaram and Lord Nityananda are the same, right? Of course. And this comes out in a pastime. Well, first let me say that Lord Balaram went on pilgrimage all across India to many, many places during the Kurukshetra battle, because he didn't want to get involved. He didn't want to have anything to do with taking sides, because he was friends with Duryodhana, and of course, he didn't want to side against Krishna and Arjuna. And so he said, okay, I'll just go on pilgrimage. That's what you do when you're not sure what you're supposed to do. In fact, there's a program in India, the Padayatra. Have you heard about the Padayatra? Padayatra. Padayatra, there's a bullock cart, a big cart, and it's pulled by these bulls and goes all over India. And on the back there's Gaurnitai deities, and the devotees, all they do is just walk around. They walk around all of India, and they go into one town with their deities, and they have a kirtan, they distribute prasadam, thousands of people come to see, and sometimes nobody comes. They're out in the middle of nowhere. They just wander with this program in remote places that no one else would go. And I know that many times through the history of ISKCON, I've had friends who were they weren't sure what to do in their life, or they were distraught with the way things were going, so they just said, I'll just go on Padayatra. So you just go join the Padayatra and walk around for a year or two. And no internet, no phone. Doesn't that sound great? Someone told me the other day, Magendra, I saw him he's an old friend of mine. I saw him at the temple in Los Angeles, and he goes, I heard about a guy who stayed off the internet for 3 months. And I thought, that's not very much. And then I went upstairs and I said, where's the hookup? I have to hook up my internet. And I thought, yeah, that's a lot, actually. And so go on Padayatra and just wander. And just coming from Los Angeles to here, I feel like we're in the spiritual world. Of course, we had the airplane. It was nice watching the sun come up as we were flying. But we came from New Dwarka, which is definitely the spiritual world. There's so much history there, and the Prabhupada installed those deities, and there have been so many festivals and great souls and lectures and everything, and that everyone there is simply concentrated on worshiping Tulsi and the deities and going on Sankirtan and such. So we are there in that atmosphere for 3 days, and then we get on a plane and we fly here. It's 52 minutes only, and then we came back to our house and then freshened up and zipped down here as fast as we could, and then here we are. And this is what pilgrimage is like. I remember being in India for several months at a time, and all we did as brahmacharis, we'd go around to all the different holy places. We had no other business. We'd jump on it. Whatever we could jump on, we'd jump on it and ride it there, whether it was a bus or a train, and we'd just sleep wherever we could sleep and then get off in the next place and go, what's this place? And I always felt after 3 months like I'd just been in the spiritual world. talk about culture shock coming back to New York City. And people with briefcases, and I was thinking, what do you need that for? Because you really don't. In the spiritual world, there's no travel for business. There's no business class. It's all this happiness class. They fly, but they don't take any, business cargo, and they don't have laptops and internet and all that kind of stuff. And so Balaram did that. He just traveled to all the holy places. That's what you do. When you're just tired of doing everything else, just go to all the holy places and see Krishna. And when you do that, you'll meet exalted people. So Lord Nityananda, when he was 12, he went out for 20 years traveling on the road to holy places. He met Srila Ishvara Puri. He met Madhavendra Puri. Took initiation from Madhavendra Puri while he was traveling. This is the great benefit of just going to the holy places, because then you meet people. That used to happen all the time. I remember I met Bayahari. I was in Kerala, in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it was very remote. And all of a sudden, I ran into Bayahari. He was a brahmachari friend of mine. He said, Bayahari, what are you doing here? And he goes, what are you doing here? So we joined forces, and we traveled around together for another month in different places. And this is the joy that Lord Nityananda experienced, going from one holy place to the next, just taking bath in every sacred river. You just find out where's the next place, and you just go there. Doesn't it sound nice? Yes. We take a year off and just go all these places. Don't have a care in the world. Tell people, I'm just going. That's it. What are you preaching, Vaisesika Das? I mean, it's possible. You could do it. And that's what Lord Nityananda did. I mean, that's Nityananda, just means all bliss all the time. And that's all bliss all the time. If you just go on pilgrimage for 20 years and you don't do anything else, go to Vrindavan, go to Mayapur, and visit all these holy places, meet the sadhus who are there, see the deities that are there, read the Shastras. That's what Lord Nityananda did for 20 years. And then, we get the opportunity to move up even closer. When I say 3, let's move up by 3.1 inches. 1, 2, 3. One day we will have more room, I promise you. But then we'll miss this too. We'll think back and go, remember how nice it was? Yeah, even you'll forget, Jagarini. Then, actually, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, because in the town of Ekachakra, and you should go there when you go to Mayapur, you can take a tour to Ekachakra. It's about, 4 hours to drive? 6 hours to drive to Ekachakra? But everyone who goes there comes back changed, that they've been to Ekachakra, they've been to Lord Nityananda's place. When Lord Nityananda was in Ekachakra and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the world, everyone heard a roaring sound. And people were speculating, what is that roaring? Is the sound of the end of the world? Or is it some lion roaring? What is the sound? And then some educated sadhus said that is the sound of the Gaudiya Ishwar. That is the Lord of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Lord Nityananda, and he's roaring out of ecstasy that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken birth in this world. Nityananda is this expansion. He knows what's going on. And Mahaprabhu appears in Navadvip. Of course, he keeps himself covered by Yogamaya. Nobody knows. They just think that he's a beautiful boy, and they think that he's the greatest scholar. He becomes a great teacher. Just as a young boy, nobody knows who he is, but Lord Nityananda knows. And he's simply waiting for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to exhibit his pastimes of Sankirtan. And that's just when he comes and joins him from the pilgrimage. So Lord Nityananda on pilgrimage then just comes to Navadvip. And he was hiding. He was hiding in Navadvip. And staying in the house of one of the Vaishnavas. And Lord Chaitanya knew that he had arrived. So he told two of his servants, go out and find him. Go find Lord Nityananda. So they looked everywhere. In every house, every shop. They searched everywhere, and they came back and said, we can't find him. And Mahaprabhu said, here, I'll take you to him. So he took them and went to the house of Nandanacharya. And there Nityananda Prabhu was, and Lord Chaitanya introduced all the devotees to him and said, offer your obeisances to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And then he arranged to have the Vyas Puja, Guru Puja, because Lord Nityananda is the manifestation of the Guru, the servant who reveals the position of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Krishna, Balaram appear in the Dwapara Yuga. In the Kali Yuga, Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya appear. And how do we know that? Well, through the Shastras, it's explained that that's who they are and how they're appearing. And in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Mother Sachi, and this is the point I'm coming back to because I started with that, Mother Sachi had a dream. And in the dream, she had Krishna Balaram deities in her home. So she had a dream that her Krishna Balaram deities came walking out from the temple room in her house. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda came walking out from the deity room in her house, and Lord Nityananda was holding Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya was holding Balaram in their hands. And they were having an argument. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda were saying, this is our age. Lord Nityananda was saying, this is our age. This is Kali Yuga. This is our time. And all these sweets you see in the house, all the sandash and the rasgulla, name a few more. Sandash, burfi, gulab jamun. You have to be Bengali sweets because remember we're in Bengal. Chum chum. Jalebi. Is that Bengali? All right, we'll let you have jalebis. Okay, so all these are for us. So you get out of here, and Balaram and Krishna were arguing back, and then Lord Nityananda said, "So if you won't go peacefully, then you'll go by beating. We'll have to beat it out of you. You leave. You go now." So in this way, she's had this dream that they were arguing back and forth, and that Chaitanya and Nitai were actually Krishna and Balaram, and this was their age. So when her dream broke, and then she saw Mahaprabhu, and he said, "Yes, your deities are very potent," and he thought he didn't say much more than that because his pastimes were covered until he finally came out in the Mahaprakash ceremony at Srivas Angam and revealed that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord Nityananda came to join and help him expand the Sankirtan movement. It looks like we're going to have an Abhishekam. And how soon will that be? 11:30, okay. So now, yes.
Sorry for the interruption. I have a quick announcement. Someone has parked in front of the hair salon shop. The owner is complaining.
And what is the car? License plate and color, make?
Okay, so we don't know that.
Where's the hair and nail salon? If you parked over here, you better move your car because they might tow it. All inconvenience is regretted. Hare Krishna, Ruby Mataji. Haribo. Okay, you've been hearing since 7:30 this morning. What did you hear? Give a few things that you heard, specifically that stuck in your mind. We'll take, let's see, we have 7 minutes. We want 14 reflections in 7 minutes. So let's make it happen. Go ahead.
Mahavishnu, Sankarshan, and Garbhodakshay Vishnu are the expansion of Lord Nityananda.
Haribo, that's 1. 13 more.
It's not sufficient to understand Kshirodakshaya Vishnu and Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. One has to also understand Karnodakshaya Vishnu and the personal manifestation, the personality of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Thank you. This front row is pretty... Now you know why they're in the front row, huh? Okay, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. So there is no difference between the Vrindavan Dham, which is near Mathura, and the Vrindavan Dham in Krishna Loka. And Maharaj said a statement, in Vrindavan if you see an imperfection, it's actually your imperfection.
Thank you very much.
Yes, also, Lord Nityananda aspect is a kala, too, that we are informed. Of time and abode, is that correct? Three aspects of that.
Nice. Next. What did you hear?
In spiritual world, there is no business class. It's always happiness class.
Haribo. Shraddha, keep going back as Usha's there, and then Shraddha. We're up to 5. Oh, use the microphone. It's the Brihat Madanga.
Alrighty. Queen Kunti is a partial incarnation of the internal potency of Lord called Jaya.
Say it again.
Queen Kunti is a partial incarnation of the Lord's success potency called Jaya.
Success potency.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Oh. See, I missed everything. Okay, Usha.
Hare Krishna. Lord Nityananda Prabhu appeared as an elder brother in this Kali Yuga, whereas Lakshman was younger brother in Satya Yuga.
Tired of being told what to do, right? Nice. Oh, good.
Vishnu Janaswami used to take the Harinam parties through bars.
Yes. And we've been doing that quite a lot here lately. Texas, we did it. We went to a bar here, too.
The advantage
People are very nice in bars, by the way. Okay, go ahead.
The advantage of going for pilgrimage, Nityananda Prabhu.
What's that? You're going on pilgrimage? Urmi, is this all right? Go ahead.
With your blessing. Nityananda Prabhu met his spiritual master there, and you just give an example of meeting sadhus in the pilgrimage. Just go there for 1
Just hearing you say it back, it makes me feel so good, doesn't it? It's so nice. Thank you. Okay, a few more. Yes. Oh, give her the microphone. These impressions are powerful. Okay, 1 second. Go ahead.
When you said that there's no...
Hold that mic really close. There you go.
There is no difference between like Krishna's orders and when you said orders of Srila Prabhupada to go and distribute books. So that was very...
It's the internal potency. Yeah. Thank you very much for remembering that. Who's on the phone? Bhumi?
The internal potency.
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
You have one for us?
Yeah, well, just your definition of Nityananda as perpetually in bliss. I love that.
Haribo! Yes, Damodar. Was somebody else on the phone that wanted to get in? Okay, go ahead, Damodar.
I was impressed by when Maharaj said that devotees Nityananda Prabhu or Balram wanted to serve Lord Krishna so much that when he came as Lakshman, he has to take Sita for leaving Shri Ram, and he decided that never in next Leelas he will take as a role of a younger brother, always an elder brother. So from there, we see forward incarnations where always Balram took the elder brother's role. So that was pretty informative and pretty analysis.
Haribo. Okay, we're up to 10. 4 more. Yes.
That the Lord's request and a devotee's request or somebody else from the material world's request, when we answer that, it's the same thing.
When you take the order?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. Nice. Rakshit?
What Lord Nityananda is to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Balram was in relationship to Krishna. And also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the only controller. All others are his associates or servants.
Okay, that puts us up to 14. Now we're going to smash the goal because we have 2 more minutes left. And there's Sankirtan and Jagarini after you.
Yeah, one should go for yatra for 1 year.
Haribol! He means it too. Don't think he's kidding around. Okay, go ahead.
One's life is mere waste unless they realize Nityananda Prabhu and approach Radha Krishna through his mercy.
Haribol! That's 16.
And the Kali Yuga is Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda's age.
Haribol! 17. We still got 30 seconds to go.
Lord Krishna doesn't want us to suffer in this material world. Means it's not Krishna's intention that we should suffer, though we want to.
Jai Nityananda Prabhu. He was merciful even to those who weren't merciful to their own selves. Yes.
Srila Prabhupada wrote 100 books in 10 years, which would have taken 27 authors full-time writing to complete that much work.
Haribol! Okay, we made it. Oh, another one. We're going to 19 now.
Mother Shachi had a dream that Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda were telling Krishna and Balaram, all the sweets in this house are ours. You can't.
Mayapur.
Vaisesika Prabhu promised more space for the temple.
Huh? I didn't hear that. Promised more space. Did I say I promised more space? Oh, okay. Jai Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bole. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaura, Jaya